It is now.
Okay, now it is. Okay, so you're going to now talk about, for just a couple minutes, you're going to talk about the event last night, and you're going to upload that to your YouTube channel. Just at least 2 to 3 minutes of talking.
Okay, so Manny Oliveira was at our table, and he was the hit of the show last night at the Obama Roosevelt dinner. He was the keynote speaker after Eric Schewal, or before Eric Schewal, whatever you pronounce his name. But he got a standing ovation over and over again. He was sitting at our table because we were sitting at a very VIP table of Congressman Ted Deutsch. Myself and Christian had a wonderful little dinner. Christian doesn't eat salads. What is this? My. Anyway, so there's a video on YouTube, if you go to CHB2, of Manny Oliveira giving his talk. And he spoke from his heart. You know, him and his wife, Patricia, lost their beautiful, beautiful son of 18 years old, Joaquin Oliveira. Joaquin Oliveira was a very outgoing, was going to be a superstar one day. His life was taken so tragically on Valentine's Day, 2018. He was one of the beautiful children and some adults killed at Marjorie Stoneham Douglas by Cruz. Now, Cruz, let me comment on this, was extremely mentally unstable. The school system knew he was unstable. He begged for help even though he was no longer in school. And Runcie turned his back on them. We should get rid of Runcie. It's his fault. No, I didn't mean that. Anyway, so I want you to go to CHB2 on YouTube and view Manny Oliveira's speech. Listen to the words. It's very, very good. His son Joaquin was murdered, and Patricia and Manny go all over the world talking about that incident. They're trying to make sure the legacy and their memory of their beautiful son Joaquin lasts forever. And he's not a victim, he's an activist. That's what Manny said last night. His son is not a victim of gun violence. He is an advocate for sensible, not gun control. Listen carefully, people. No one's saying gun control, take your guns. We're talking about sensible gun laws. You don't need to have AK-47s that kill 100 people in 30 seconds. You don't need magazines with 100 shots in it. You need hunting guns and target practice guns. And if you want to use machine guns, you know, we could open up facilities just for machine guns. You just can't take them out. You know, they're like at a carnival where the gun's strapped to the counter. Go shoot at a range. Go spend $15 and shoot all the targets you want to. But don't be carrying it around 50 and 60 of them in your trunk. That spells trouble. And this is what sensible gun, not gun control, gun regulation. You know, you regulate the car. The car is so over-insured and regulated, and you got to have seat belts. You got to have windshield wipers. You got to have headlights. You got to have turn signals. Of course, the turn signals in Florida are rarely used, so they never wear out in Florida. But you got to have them. The car's got to come with brake lights. The car's got to come with windows. All the cars are overly regulated. But you don't want to regulate the guns? Yes, cars kill people too if you run over somebody, and guns can kill somebody if you shoot somebody. But we need to have sensible gun regulation. And with what Manny is suggesting that we do is that we do a buyback of the AK-47s. First, we ban the manufacture of them or the importation of them, and then anyone that does possess them, we'll do a buyback. we'll do a buyback by not giving them cash, but a gift certificate to go to Target or Walmart and buy anything but alcohol and guns. That's how you do a buyback. I know the sheriff's office here locally in Broward has done gun buybacks before, and they were very successful. They gave like a Target gift certificate. You can buy anything but a gun. They even took back handguns. People brought in their own handguns to get the certificate. I don't say that we should ban handguns. I think if you're taking a sailboat out on the water, you need to have a handgun because we do have pirates out in the Caribbean. So, you need a gun for that. Some people need guns for their safety. I believe if you have a gun in your home, you're probably more likely to be shot with that gun than an intruder, but that's up to you, and I think you have every right to have that gun. But we don't need to have an 18-year-old, which you can't, now you have to be 21 in Florida. That was one of the regulations that was passed in the state of Florida after Marjorie Stoneham Douglas. But so now we're talking about Manny. Also Eric Swalwell, I can't pronounce his name properly, I don't think. He's a representative from California. I think he's thinking about running for president. He certainly looks like somebody, that be one of those presidential candidates. He's a former prosecutor from Oakland, California. He was born in Iowa from a moderately to poor family. It was a police officer. And back in the days of the 80s and 70s, police officer didn't get paid very much. They got paid about as low as a teacher did, which was next to nothing, next to poverty. But in any case, he grew up in part of Iowa. Evidently, they traveled around a lot. He was all over the place until he ended up in Oakland, California as a prosecutor. First in his family to go to college. His dad was a police officer. His mother, as he puts it now, I'm not telling on him, his mother used to build birdhouses out in the garage, make wedding cakes in the kitchen, and then ran an unlicensed child care center in the living room. So basically the mother did everything she could to bring up the salary of his police officer father. And according to Representative Swalwell, his dad did not want him to follow him. He wanted to be a police officer, and his dad said, I didn't work this hard to see you become a police officer. So then he went to school and then went to law school, and as you know, it takes 8 to 9 years. He became a prosecutor, and today he's a chairman or a member of Intelligence and Judicial, I think. So, and I think he is the chairman of a subcommittee. So he will be taking the Trump crime family to task as a prosecutor. That's where the Trump crime family did wrong. When they had Cohen speaking, all they could do is liar, liar, pens on fire. And they had undereducated people defending Trump. What they needed to have was a prosecutor or at least an attorney to cross-examine Cohen. Instead, they had circus masters. Let me tell you about this Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows is a liar and a phony from North Carolina. He lied to all of his voters. He's only won 2 races, 2 elections, but he lied to them and told them that he had a bachelor's. He didn't have no bachelor's. He had the equivalent of going to a community college and had an AA in nothing. In nothing. He even lied to the historian of the house and said that he had a BA, and then they discovered he didn't. How embarrassing. And this Meadows person was cross-examining Cohen. They should have picked somebody, at least a lawyer. And then Jim Jordan was not even a wrestling coach. He was an assistant wrestling coach. And a wrestling coach that knew that his wrestlers were being molested by the team doctor. He did nothing for 10 years. He did not open his mouth. What a scumbag. Remember, Representative Jim Jordan, who went after Cohen, is a phony, a fraud, and a scumbag. Also, Mark Meadows from North Carolina brings in a black woman who used to work for Trump. and says this proves that Trump isn't a racist. Are you fucking kidding me? What a moron. Again, the man is not a prosecutor or a lawyer. He's a moron. But that's enough from Eric Sewell. Eric Sewell gave an okay speech for somebody who may be running for president. I think he needs to put a little more passion. You got to have the passion of Obama or the passion of Clinton or the passion even of Reagan, who was senile. At least he could remember his lines as long as you put them in front of him. But Eric Sewell didn't sound very presidential. I like him. I think he should stay in Congress. Speaking of which, we're going to have about 30 people running for president. The Democrats are going to have an embarrassment of plenty. A lot of people running. So we don't know whether Beto's going to get in. We don't know whether Biden's going to get in. Howard Dean told me on New Year's Eve 2017, we didn't just tell me, he told several people, that the Democratic Party needs to stop with the old people like Biden and like Hillary and find somebody young and new to run for president. I agree with him. Beto could be that. Kamala Harris could be that. Cory Booker could be that. We have a lot of them that have a good opportunity. We'll see. We have so many wonderful people running. We're going to see, and hopefully it won't be about money. And we'll see who's going to end up being the Democratic nominee. We'll probably know a little bit more exactly a year from now. Exactly a year from now, the Iowa caucuses in New Hampshire. Don't get me started on that. I don't know why we're still using those places. They don't tell us anything. They just insist on being first in the country. I think it's a waste. I think we all should vote the same day on the primary and stop this nonsense and stop dragging it out. I think we should, in June 2020, have the primary nationwide and then have our conventions in July, both Republican and Democrat, and then duke it out through August, September, and October. That's 90 days of campaigning. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. And Christian said, you know, here's this camera. You talk for 3 minutes. It's been 12 minutes and 37 seconds. 12 minutes and 41 seconds now. Here's the outside. I don't know why we're looking on the outside, but there we have it. So we're going to cut this off. And again, click subscribe to the R Buzz. And come look at my site, therbuzz.com and footprintstrategies.com. And please sign up for some services. I have new technology and a whole new platform. Get a hold of me at Ron at the R Buzz, and we'll discuss more.